Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. Your time is too valuable to be wasted. Somebody in here has been waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect situation, waiting for a sign. But let me shake you up today. You don't have time to waste. God is giving you a purpose, and every second you let slip by is a second you can never get back. Time is your most precious gift. You can get another job, you can get another house, but you will never get another today. And yet some of us are living like we got time on layaway, like we can pull a few more years off the shelf when we feel like it. But let me remind you, the procrastination is the enemy of your destiny. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you push your purpose further into the background. You say, one day I'll start that business. One day I'll go back to school. One day I'll fix my marriage. But I came to tell somebody, look around you. Who are you walking with? Because who you walk with determines how far you go. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are content with mediocrity, you will never reach greatness. If you're spending your days with people who are wasting time, soon you'll be just like them. Get around people who push you, who challenge you, who won't let you settle. Time is your most precious gift because it is the one thing in life you can never get back once it's gone. Money can be earned again, opportunities may come back around, but time, once it is spent, it is gone forever. We live in a world where people waste time as if they have an unlimited supply of it. They sit idly by, scrolling through life, procrastinating, making excuses, and waiting for some magical moment when everything will be perfect. But let me tell you something. The clock does not wait for you. The clock does not pause when you are confused. The clock does not stop when you are distracted. It keeps ticking, moving forward, whether you use it wisely or not. Every person on this earth has been given the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is how they choose to use their time. You can either spend your time investing in your growth, your purpose, your destiny, or you can waste it on meaningless distractions that will leave you empty and regretful in the end. Too many people act as if they have time on layaway, as if they can pick up a few extra years when they feel like it. But life is unpredictable. Tomorrow is not promised. That's why you have to treat your time as the valuable treasure that it is. When you truly understand the value of time, you stop giving it away so easily to people and things that don't add to your future. Some of you are spending your days in relationships that are draining you, conversations that don't build you, and environments that are holding you back. Every hour you waste on people who don't support your purpose is an hour you could have spent working on your dreams. Every moment you spend entertaining negativity is a moment stolen from your growth. If you do not guard your time, people will steal it from you. And the worst part is, you will never get it back. The reality is that most people do not realize how much time they have wasted until it is too late. They look back and wonder where the years went. They think about the opportunities they missed, the talents they never developed, the dreams they never chased. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens to carry because it reminds you of what could have been. But you don't have to live that way. You don't have to wake up one day full of sorrow over the time you lost. You can make a decision today to start valuing your time like the priceless gift it is? What if you started treating your time like money? What if you started budgeting your time the way you budget your finances? You wouldn't waste money on things that don't matter, so why waste time on things that don't serve your purpose? If you truly understood how valuable each second is, you would start living with a sense of urgency. You would stop waiting for the right time and start making the most of the time you have right now. Greatness is not built overnight. It is built in the small moments. The disciplined decisions, the consistent actions that you take every single day. The person who reads a book for 30 minutes every day will be wiser in a year than the person who spends that same time scrolling on social media. The person who works on their business for an hour each day will be miles ahead of the person who keeps saying, I'll start tomorrow. The difference is not talent. The difference is not luck. The difference is how they use their time. You must be intentional with your time. You must be disciplined. You must recognize that every minute you waste is a minute you will never see again. Stop saying you'll start later. Stop saying you'll do it someday. Someday is a lie. Someday is an illusion. The only time you have is now. So today, I challenge you to change the way you see time. Stop throwing it away. Stop wasting it on things that do not build you. Start valuing it, protecting it, and using it wisely. Because time is your most precious gift, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Procrastination is the enemy of purpose because it silently steals the future that God has planned for you. It disguises itself as comfort, whispering, you have time, when in reality, every moment wasted is a step further away from your destiny. Procrastination is a thief that does not break in through the window. It walks right through the front door because you let it in. It convinces you that tomorrow is always available, that later is an option. But the truth is, every time you delay, you push your purpose further and further away. How many dreams have died in the grave of, I'll do it later? How many assignments from God have gone unfulfilled because someone kept waiting for the right time? Purpose does not wait for you to feel ready. It does not wait for perfect conditions. It does not wait for you to feel qualified. If you sit around waiting for everything to align before you take action, you will wake up one day and realize that life is. Opportunities do not linger forever. They come and go, and only those who are bold enough to act will seize them. Every great achiever you admire, every successful person you look up to, had moments where they felt uncertain, unprepared, and afraid. But they did not allow those feelings to keep them stuck. They moved forward in faith despite their fears, despite their doubts, because they understood that purpose requires action. The longer you wait to step into your calling, the harder it becomes. Procrastination does not just delay progress, it creates habits of hesitation, habits of avoidance, habits of fear, and habits shape your life. A person who constantly puts things off becomes someone who never finishes what they start. They become someone who looks back with regret, wondering what could have been if only they had started sooner. The danger of procrastination is that it gives you the illusion of control. You think you are deciding to wait, but in reality, you are surrendering control to time, to circumstances, to excuses. You are allowing distractions to dictate your destiny. Excuses are the language of procrastination. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I'll start when things settle down. But excuses will always be there. Life will always be busy. Challenges will always arise. If you allow excuses to dictate your actions, you will never accomplish anything meaningful. You must make a decision that your purpose is more important than your comfort. You must decide that your dreams are worth more than your distractions. Because the longer you delay, the more you risk never stepping into the fullness of what God has called you to do. Some of you have been sitting on ideas that God gave you years ago. You have been waiting for the right moment to start that business, to write that book, to go back to school, to make that change. But every year you find another reason to delay. Every year you promise yourself that this will be the year you take action, and yet you remain in the same place. How much longer will you allow procrastination to rob you? How many more years will you let pass without walking in your purpose? The truth is, you do not have as much time as you think. The opportunities you delay today may not be there tomorrow. The doors that are open now may close if you do not walk through them. God has placed something inside of you that the world needs. There is a gift, a talent, a purpose that is uniquely yours. And if you do not step into it, it will remain unfulfilled. You were not created to live a life of what ifs and regrets. You were created to walk in power, to fulfill a divine assignment. But that can only happen if you make the choice to act. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to affirm what God has already placed inside of you. Stop waiting for the right time, because the right time is now. The only way to defeat procrastination is to take action. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Take the first step. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be fully planned, but it has to start. Because purpose does not happen in the future. It happens in the moments you choose to stop waiting and start moving. The enemy wants to keep you stagnant, stuck in hesitation, but God is calling you forward. Do not let procrastination be the reason you never step into your destiny. Do not let time slip through your fingers while you wait for everything to feel right. Move now, act now, and watch how God meets you in motion. Surround yourself with purpose-driven people, because the company you keep determines the direction of your life. You cannot expect to walk into greatness while surrounding yourself with people who are comfortable with mediocrity. If you are constantly around people who waste time, complain about their lives, and make excuses for why they are not progressing, sooner or later you will begin to do the same. Your environment shapes your mindset, and your mindset shapes your destiny. Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. The people you associate with either push you forward or pull you backward. There is no neutral ground. Many people fail to reach their full potential not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they refuse to separate themselves from relationships that hinder their growth. They stay in circles that drain them, in friendships that distract them, in environments that keep them stuck. They hold on to relationships out of loyalty, even when those relationships are holding them back. But let me tell you something. Your loyalty should never be greater than your destiny. If the people around you are not challenging you, inspiring you, or pushing you toward your purpose, then they are keeping you from it. You surround yourself with purpose-driven people, everything in your life begins to shift. Purpose-driven people think differently. They talk differently. They act differently. They do not waste time on gossip, negativity, or excuses. They are focused, disciplined, and committed to their growth. When you're around people like that, it forces you to level up. It challenges you to become better. It makes you uncomfortable with staying the same. Because when everyone around you is striving for greatness, you cannot help but do the same. The problem with many people is that they want to grow, but they do not want to leave behind the relationships that are keeping them small. They want to rise, but they do not want to separate from people who are content with being average. Growth requires, if you are serious about your purpose, you must be willing to distance yourself from anything and anyone that does not align with it. That does not mean you have to cut people off with anger or resentment. It simply means you must be intentional about who has access to you. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Not everyone should have influence over your decisions. If they are not helping you grow, they should not have the power to hold you back. Some of you are struggling right now, not because you lack ability, but because you are surrounded by people who do not believe in your vision. You have dreams, but the people around you make you feel like they are impossible. You have ambition, but your environment encourages you to settle. You have potential, but your circle does not push you to activate it. And as long as you stay in that environment, you will continue to feel stuck. You must be bold enough to step away from relationships that no longer serve your destiny. You must be courageous enough to seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you, who make you better. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, but if you are surrounded by dull people, you will never stay sharp. If you are always the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. If you are always the most ambitious person in your circle, you need a new circle. Find people who are where you want to be. Learn from those who have walked the path you are trying to walk. Connect with those who are moving in the same direction as you. Because when you align yourself with the right people, doors begin to open. Opportunities begin to appear. Growth becomes inevitable. The greatest investment you can make in your future is to build relationships that fuel your purpose. It is better to walk alone in the right direction than to be surrounded by people who are leading you nowhere. Do not be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer fit where you are going. Do not be afraid to elevate your circle, because the people you walk with today will determine how far you go tomorrow. Choose wisely, because your destiny depends on it. Focus on what matters most, because distractions are designed to steal your future. Every single day, you are presented with a choice. You can either invest your time in things that bring you closer to your destiny, or you can waste it on things that leave you empty and unfulfilled. The enemy of your purpose is not always something obvious like failure or hardship. Sometimes it is the small, seemingly harmless distractions that pull you away from what truly matters. A wasted hour here, an unnecessary conversation there, an unproductive habit repeated over and over again. Before you know it, days, months, even years have passed, and you are no closer to your goals. Many people are not failing because they lack talent, resources, or opportunities. They are failing because they are distracted. They spend their energy on things that do not matter, investing their attention in things that do not build them, and then wonder why they are not making progress. Distractions come in many forms. Sometimes they look like entertainment, spending hours scrolling through social media, watching meaningless content, engaging in conversations that add no value. Other times they come in the form of toxic relationships. People who drain you emotionally, who pull you into drama, who keep you so entangled in chaos that you have no time left for your dreams. The most dangerous distractions are the ones that disguise themselves as responsible. Some of you are so busy doing things that seem important, but they are not actually helping you move forward. You are caught up in routines, activities, and commitments that make you feel productive, but are not truly aligned with your purpose. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Not every opportunity is a good. And what is a distraction? Because if the enemy cannot destroy you, he will distract you. The greatest achievers in history were not the ones who had the most resources, the most connections, or the most talent. They were the ones who had the ability to focus. They understood that they could not afford to waste time on things that did not matter. They learned how to say no to distractions so they could say yes to their destiny. And that same discipline is required of you. If you want to reach your full potential, you must train yourself to focus on what matters most. Think about it. If you plant a seed in the ground but keep uprooting it to look at other things, it will never grow. Your dreams are the same way. If you are constantly shifting your attention from one thing to another, you will never see real progress. It requires consistency. It requires a commitment to stay the course, even when distractions try to pull you away. Some of you are frustrated because you feel stuck. You feel like you are not making the progress you should be making. But if you examine your life, you will realize that it is not.